Listen closely, chase laughter, and share smiles. Those 6 words arrive like a sunrise, small at first, then impossible to ignore. I want you to feel them like a pulse in your chest, a simple instruction that asks for brave vulnerability and quiet courage. You are invited to seek the bright corners of your days and scatter joy like seeds. This is not a shallow cheer. It's a practiced way of moving through the world, a daily choice that builds strength. You chase laughter not to escape hardship, but to remind yourself that joy exists, that you can find it, even when clouds are heavy. Hold that phrase in your hands now and let it warm whatever part of you feels small. Carry that warmth with me as we step deeper into why this matters. Think of the life you are building as a map stitched from tiny decisions, the way you greet a neighbor, the risk of a shared joke, the courage to be vulnerable first. Chasing laughter becomes a navigational tool. When you seek out the light, you train your eyes to find it in the crack between deadlines, in the tired smile of someone passing by, in the absurdity of a private memory. Sharing smiles is the language of connection. It translates your inner resilience into a permission for others to breathe freely. These acts are not random. They form habits that protect you from despair. If you try, you will notice a shift. The world responds to the way you move through it. Let this gentle truth guide us into stories that prove the power of this practice. You might be waiting for permission to be joyful, waiting for fewer worries, more free time, a sign that it's safe to laugh. Consider this your allowance. Chase laughter and share smiles even when life is messy. It is both defiance and healing. You give yourself permission to be human, to blow warmth into cold places. In moments when you feel most uncertain, laughter becomes a radical act of faith. Faith in tomorrow, in your resilience, in the people who might join you. Hold the quote as a talisman, not as pressure, but as an invitation. Now, lean in with me as we look at the real lives that show how this invitation becomes a life transformed. Once, a street musician played the same tired tune every morning. People passed, heads bowed. One day, a passerby stopped and burst into laughter at a silly offbeat the musician made. The musician responded with a grin that widened the corners of the whole sidewalk. What happened next was simple. Others looked up, laughter spread, and for a few minutes the city breathed differently. This is the power you hold when you chase laughter, an infectious warmth that ripples outward. Your single smile can alter the tempo of someone's entire day. Imagine that ripple. Imagine how many small waves you could make if you looked for those notes of joy more often. Carry that image into the next memory. A nurse entered a room heavy with bad news and knew the facts couldn't be changed that day. Instead, she told a ridiculous childhood story that made a patient laugh until tears came. In that laughter, the patient found a breath he hadn't had in weeks. Smiles shared in impossible places become anchors, small sanctuaries of humanity inside very afraid spaces. This is where chasing laughter transcends novelty and becomes medicine. You don't have to fix everything. You only need to be willing to risk joy, to offer an honest smile where fear sits. Let that courage remind you of what you can give and how those gifts return to bolster your own heart. Neighborhoods that laugh together tend to withstand storms better. Neighbors who share smiles check in, borrow sugar, and show up when life gets hard. When you chase laughter, you are also inviting others into a habit of care. It's not about ignoring hardship. It's about creating a buffer, a community muscle that flexes toward kindness. Visualize your circle becoming a net of light, every smile a knot that holds you. As we move into the heart of our message, keep that network in mind. Joy shared becomes resilience multiplied. At the peak, the energy shifts. Chasing laughter here means choosing to speak first, to make the first joke at a family table, to admit vulnerability before pride closes the door. Courage is not always dramatic. Often, it's the quiet decision to invite joy into tense rooms. When you share a smile before it's earned, you break the ice that keeps people apart. You create permission for honesty and softness. This is where the quote becomes a practice of leadership. Gentle, inclusive, brave. Feel that leader inside you as we climb toward the most stirring truth this phrase can offer. Laughter can also be resistance against cynicism, against the idea that life must be stern to be serious. When you choose to laugh in defiance of despair, you proclaim that hope is a strategy, not a luxury. That kind of laughter galvanizes others. It makes space for connection where walls once stood. You might feel fear at first, but each time you risk a smile, you thin the armor around your own heart and others. Remember, bravery wears a smile as surely as a flag. Keep that defiant warmth as we prepare the emotional peak where the full power of the quote reveals itself. There will be a moment, small, ordinary, that will pivot you. Perhaps a child will laugh at your serious face and your sternness will melt. Perhaps a friend will reach across silence with a smile and reopen your heart. When that pivot comes, you'll know. Chasing laughter doesn't ignore pain. It rewrites how pain sits in your life. The joy you seek becomes the proof of your resilience, and the smiles you share become the scaffolding for others to climb. This is the summit, a place where you are both brave and tender, where community and courage fuse into lasting light. Let that feeling rise as we move toward a quiet conclusion that holds everything you've learned. As you come back from peaks and alleys of feeling, make chasing laughter and sharing smiles into ritual. Rituals are practical magic. They teach your body and soul what to expect. A morning joke over coffee, a nightly text that asks, "What made you laugh today?" These are threads that stitch joy into daily life. Ritual removes the burden of remembering. It makes generosity habitual. Invite your circle to invent small rites that spark light. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes to reach for joy in both small and large rooms of your life. Bring that steady rhythm with you as we draw these ideas together. Joy is contagious when taught. Model it for the people around you, children, co-workers, friends who have forgotten they can laugh freely. When you intentionally pass on the habit of looking for light, you create multi-generational resilience. Teach stories of small, brave laughter. Share the quote with intention. When you show others how to chase joy and share smiles, the act becomes a movement, a quiet revolution of kindness. Think of the people in your life who need this invitation and imagine the ripple if you gave it to them. Hold that image gently as we prepare to close with meaning and invitation. Chase laughter and share smiles. The promise here is simple and powerful. Live in a way that chooses connection over isolation, softness over cynicism, courage over withdrawal. The life lesson is this: small acts of joy are not trivial. They are the scaffolding of resilience and the language of community. Today, I ask you to take that phrase and make it yours. Start small, stay steady, be generous. Join a collective of people who choose light. Comment with a memory when a smile changed your day. Subscribe to keep these sparks alive and share this with someone who might need permission to laugh. Remember, your laughter matters, your smile matters, and together we can make the world a gentler place. Chase laughter and share smiles and begin today.